We're gonna do a recording session in here today, so I wanted to share some tips with you that I like to do when I set up for either a recording session at a pro commercial studio or here at a bro recording studio, home studio. It's a home studio. It's quite nice. Let's get into it. So the first thing that I like to do before every session is gather as much information about what's going to be happening on the session. How many people are going to be coming? What are they going to be doing when they're here? Are they playing? Are they singing? What's the instrumentation for the session? What do I need to have ready to record? How many songs are we planning on doing? What are the names of those songs? And do we have tempos for those songs? That'll help me prepare the sessions before anyone even arrives. And finally, what is the downbeat of the session or the session start time? Next, after I have all of that information, I can go on to the next step and make a microphone/input list. Now that I have a good understanding of what we're going to be recording, what instruments are either going to be brought here or that we're using that are already here, how many singers, I can make an input list of all the mics that we're going to be using, what they're going on, what the signal path is going to be, what preamps, etc., inserts, and then also I can get the headphone system set up, get headphones for everyone labeled and ready to go so that when everyone shows up, they have a place to sit, they have headphones ready to go, and they can see where everything is personalized for them. Now that I have a microphone/input list written down and ready, I can actually jump on the computer and prepare the sessions for each song. So I'll jump on whichever DAW we're going to be using for that day. I'll create the sessions based off of song title, BPM, sample rate, and all of those details that we got from the first step in our information, and actually start building out the session on the computer so that they're completely ready by the time everyone shows up. We have our microphone input list, so I can make all of the tracks of what microphones we're going to be recording, which lines they're going to be coming in on, label them, group them, make any auxiliary tracks or anything like that, set the BPM for the song, and also create sends for the headphone system or however you're going to be doing headphones on your session that day. Here in my studio, we use the P16, so we're sending line level output out, additional line outs to the headphone system, and everyone gets their own mixer so they can create their own headphone mix according to what they want to hear. Okay, now that we've got our information, we've made our microphone input list, and we've prepared the sessions in the DAW, we can actually put microphones on instruments or get them as close to that as we can. If they're bringing instruments, sometimes you can't mic up something that's not there, but you can run lines to a stand, do your best guess to get the stand as prepared as possible, run a line to it, plug it in, and then you can go through and do what we call a scratch test, where you have someone scratch the mic and you check the inputs to make sure there's no issues with the cables or any of the gear that you're using. That way, when musicians and instruments show up, you can just place the microphone. You know everything already works. You can work on your placement and getting sounds. Now here in my studio, instruments are always up, always mic'd, signals always ran, and levels for the most part are ready to go. I'll tweak things based off of the song and the style of music, but for the most part, we're ready to go. Now this last one is very, very important and I think often overlooked. This is something that every professional studio will consider and do before anyone gets there. And that is presentation and accommodation. We've covered our bases of what we're gonna need, setting it up, checking everything. We know it's ready to roll. Now we wanna make it look professional. What do I mean by that? Clean up, make the room look really nice, really professional. Don't have cables sprawled everywhere. Make it what I call accident proof. If somebody trips over a cable, yanks on a mic, that's a problem. Just make sure that that can't happen. Now the accommodation part of this, I like to have a few things around the studio for when people show up. One, water, coffee, some sort of drink that people can see, find, grab, and help themselves to. Another thing is pens, pencils, paper, notepads, clipboards, something that if someone sees and they have an idea, they can just grab and write it down. Trust me, this seems old school because, well, we have notes on our phone. Trust me, pens and papers, have it around because it gets used all the time. And then lastly, welcome the clients, make them feel comfortable, show them around. Here's the garbage can, here's the entrance exit, here's the bathrooms. If you guys need to do any of this stuff, you know where it is. And make sure that either your clients or co-writer or whoever you're working with feels comfortable where they are, because that's the name of the game. If people are comfortable working with you, they're gonna wanna keep working with you. And also, you want them to be comfortable when you're trying to get a great performance out of them. These are 5 things that I always consider, regardless if I'm doing a big session at Capitol Records or Ocean Way, East West, Blackbird, huge studios, or here in my home studio. Because either way, I want things to run smoothly, and I want to be able to pay attention to the music and the people who are here and not have to worry about any of these other details, because I know that we prepared and set everything up and checked everything. Now, of course, there are always unforeseen things that come up. Let's try a different mic, let's shoot some stuff out. The better prepared you can be for those situations makes the session go so much better and gives you opportunities to do stuff like that. Okay, so if you follow these steps, you've actually prepped everything and you've tested everything and the session's going and everything is going according to plan, that actually gives you a little bit of flexibility to be able to experiment. And something that I'm really pumped to be able to experiment with is this Radial Stereo Effects Reamp box. This thing is awesome. So you can send out from your interface at a line level, and you can return back line level XLR as well. But it has an effects loop to go to your guitar pedals or an amp. And then on the effects insert, you have your send level and receive level. So you have control over your input gain and output gain to and from the pedals, which is really cool to be able to control how much you're driving both to and from. You got a phase flip and your wet dry blend. This thing is so exciting to me because I basically have this like cool little guitar station right here for whoever's tracking guitar, when we can just plug and play different pedals. But to be able to use it on the input side for anything else like that we're using a microphone on. But I'm really excited to be able to experiment with this. If you want to check it out, I put a link to it in the description. Again, this is the Stereo Effects Reamp box from Radial. Thank you, Sweetwater, for sponsoring this video. Now, those are the 5 things that I'm thinking about before every single session. And honestly, there's probably something that I'm forgetting. Let me know what you like to do down in the comments. If you guys like this video, hit the like button. Also, don't forget to subscribe to the channel if you want to see the end results of what comes from our session today. I'm pretty excited about it. So I'll see you guys in the next video.